How you guys doing? This is Ben, the LP student, which is short for the Legal Paraprofessional Student. I started this channel because I wanted to share my journey on becoming what's called a legal paraprofessional in the state of Arizona. And to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a Marine vet. I am also a licensed real estate agent in the state of California, and I am also a loan officer licensed in the state of California and Arizona as well. Now, about a year ago, and gosh, it's hard to believe it's been about a year, but about a year ago, I moved to the state of Arizona. Previously, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed out here in Yuma, and I always liked Arizona, and I decided, maybe one day I'll come back out here and live. So anyway, that one day was last year. So me and my wife and our family, we moved out here, and we really enjoy it. Now, when I was coming out to go look at different properties, I actually brought an attorney friend of mine who came with me on a road trip just to kind of check out the area, see where we want to live, maybe look at a few houses, that type of thing. And he was so impressed with Arizona that he decided to move with us. So he's actually out here, moved with us about a year ago. Well, anyway, because he's an attorney in California, he wanted to look into seeing what it would take to get take the bar out here in Arizona and get licensed. And he ran into something that was very interesting. The Arizona Supreme Court, I think in 2020 or somewhere around there, created a practitioner called a legal paraprofessional. Now, the whole reason why the state of Arizona did this is they wanted to bring down the cost of legal services and expand legal services to people that people that might not be able to afford an attorney for a limited amount of legal services. So they came out with something called a legal paraprofessional. I don't know if I explained that greatly or the best way, but that's the way that I understand it. So now this is what you're looking at right now on your screen. This is the University of Arizona James E. Rogers College of Law, and this is not where I'm going to school. But I decided that when I moved out here and I heard about this new legal paraprofessional practitioner opportunity, I decided that, hey, along with being able to do real estate agency services, being able to represent folks and clients in the purchase of a property, and then also being able to procure loans for people, having those two licenses, I thought, might be a good idea to add legal services to the repertoire of my services I can give to clients. And honestly, I actually looked into this, I have referred out a sickening amount of referrals out to attorneys over the years. And I was happy to do that, but it was just services I could not render because I am not an attorney. I cannot give legal advice or give legal services. But I realized how many times I was able to refer out to attorney friends of mine. For some reason, I have a lot of attorney friends. They come in handy, trust me. And I just realized, wow, that was a lot of income, a lot of revenue. I think that I passed up just simply because I didn't have the license or didn't have the opportunity. So being in Arizona and looking into becoming a legal paraprofessional, that opportunity is available. Anyway, so once again, this is University of Arizona. I'm not going to school here, but they have a pretty good website that explains what a legal paraprofessional is. Now they have three pathways for people that might have a master's degree, might have a BA, or maybe you may not want to take the bar, and maybe you just want to practice in certain areas of law. And an LP, and that's what I short for legal paraprofessional, an LP might make a lot of sense. Now, one thing you're not going to do as an LP is you're not going to be representing people in like murder trials. Okay, that's just not going to happen. But anyway, they have a pretty good section here that kind of gives you the basics of what a legal paraprofessional is. But so what is a legal paraprofessional? Well, it says a legal paraprofessional is a new tier of legal service provider in the state of Arizona, created by the Arizona Supreme Court and regulated by the Arizona Judicial Council. It's designed to help the enormous unmet demand of legal services, especially for those folks who can't pay for an attorney, can't pay an attorney $400 an hour to do legal services for them. So now, the best way to explain what a legal paraprofessional is similar to a nurse practitioner in the medical field. And the way I explain it to people, because I get asked that all the time. So when you go to the doctor, a lot of times when you might call, make an appointment, go in, you may not see the doctor. You may see somebody like a nurse practitioner or a PA, physician's assistant. Okay, and what they're going to do is they're going to take a look at you, and for minor things, they're going to be able to write you a prescription, give you medical advice on what you should do. So that's a lot like what a LP or a legal paraprofessional is. They handle, more of the lighter, more minor types of legal issues that an individual may encounter, but also at a reduced cost. Okay, so now you must meet certain educational experience requirements and pass a state licensing exam. Okay, licensed LPs in Arizona may draft, sign, and file legal documents. Okay, so they can put together legal documents and actually file them for you. So it's different than like a legal documentation service that a lot of states have. Where you go in and they have certain documents and they kind of help you fill them out, but they don't really give you any legal advice. In other words, everything that is done is per your direction. They just kind of tell you, okay, this is what this form is for, and what should go here, and they kind of assist you in that, but they don't give you any legal advice or legal direction. Okay. Now, as an LP, you can provide advice, opinions, or recommendations about legal rights, remedies, defenses, options, or strategies. So, you can do many of the things that an attorney can do. Okay, in a limited scope of areas of practice. Okay, you can appear before certain courts or tribunals on behalf of a client, which you cannot do, as a legal document preparer or as like a paralegal. Okay, and you could negotiate for a client in the area of practice. Okay, now, I just thought that this was kind of a good explanation of what a legal paraprofessional is. But I'm going to go over to now this is the Arizona Legal Professional Program licensing requirement. So you have to have, like in the previous website, you have to have a certain amount of education in order to become an LP. Okay, so there are several. There's educational pathway, and there's actually an experience pathway. Unfortunately, I don't qualify for the experience pathway, but you can actually become an LP without taking the education if you have the proper experience in a particular area of law. Okay, maybe you've worked as a paralegal for a long time, worked in an attorney's office for many years. You may qualify for the experience pathway. But so you have the educational pathway, which that's me. Okay, now I did not go to college. I do have some college level classes because they are required in order for you to be a real estate agent in most states. But I don't really have any college to speak of. At least I do, but unfortunately none of that really applies to the type of license that I'm getting, or the type of degree that I'm currently trying to obtain. So you need one of the ways for the education pathway is you need an associate level degree in paralegal studies, or any associate level degree plus certificate in paralegal studies approved by the ABA, and the ABA is the American Bar Association, or accredited by the U.S. Department of Education or Council for Higher Education of Accreditation, recognized or a Council for Higher Education Accreditation recognized agency. Excuse me. A minimum of 24 semester hours or clock hours equivalent in legal specialization courses. Requires 1 year of substantive experience in addition to the degree. Okay, so you have to have experience, at least a year of substantive experience in addition to a degree. Now, substantive means related to the law. Okay, So anyway, I won't get too far into that. That's actually part of my legal studies. But anyway, so you can have an associate's level degree in paralegal studies, a 4-year degree in law, a master's in legal studies, a JD. So you can be a lawyer. I'm sorry, you can have graduated law school. Okay. At any ABA accredited school. You can be a foreign trained lawyer. That's also from an ABA accredited law school. And then there's also a certification program for legal paraprofessionals approved by the Arizona Judicial Council, which is a future option. Now, those are just starting to come out. So I'm not aware of any. I've heard of them coming out. The school that I'm going to, which is Yavapai College, they're going to have a certification program, I believe, coming out in the fall. So, pretty exciting that we would need to do it. Now, from what I understand, it's very close to getting an associate level degree, but I'll be checking that out, probably, see what classes I need to take in order to get the certification, because along with the associate level degree, it would be nice to get some type of certification that said that, that I'm a legal paraprofessional, went through a program that's specifically for that. So all endorsements, subject matter areas require the following minimum coursework as part of the degree program: 3 credit hours in each evidence, legal research and writing, and professional responsibility, 120 hours of experiential learning that includes advocacy in each subject matter area of endorsement. So you can go to this site. If you just type in Google Arizona Legal Paraprofessional, you'll be able to see all this information. Okay. Now here are the areas, are the requirements for the endorsements, or the areas of law that you can practice as a legal paraprofessional. There's family law. Now you need 3 credit hours in family law and 6 credit hours in civil procedure. And I'll probably go into that a little bit more on the next, or when I get to a little farther in this video. But you can practice family law, you can practice civil law, you can practice criminal law. However, in criminal law, if there just can't be a high likelihood or the likelihood of jail time. So if if you're been charged with something criminal, and you're probably looking at probation or some type of diversion, or you're not going to be spending years and years in prison, then an LP can represent you in a criminal case. Okay, and then there's also administrative law, which is more like your workman's comp, that type of thing. Although as of the moment, and I'm not aware of any what the requirements are for the administrative law, other than the 3 credit hours in administrative law, but they haven't. The state of Arizona hasn't come out with really what the requirements are for the administrative law part, because not only do you have to take the exam for the core items in Arizona law, but you have to also take an exam for each one of these: family law, civil law, or criminal law, or any of the areas of practice that you want to practice. Okay? So once you take the core exam, you still got to take the exam for family law. If you decide later on you want to get into civil or criminal administrative, you also have to take and get the endorsements for those individual areas of law. Now, me personally, I'm probably going to be more in the family law and civil law area, because I'm a real estate agent, and also do and I'm also a licensed loan officer. I will probably be doing more things that are related to those areas: real estate, possibly trusts, probate. Those are all things that I have run into as a real estate agent. Sometimes when you're representing a client, sometimes the property's in probate, so you got to kind of jump through the hoops there. So you got to familiarize yourself a little bit with how that process goes. Okay, so those are the areas of law that I'm interested in. Now, that doesn't mean I won't do all 4. But I do have to take the individual. I have to get the individual endorsements, which require an exam. Okay. All candidates must have 120 hours of experiential learning that includes content on advocacy in each area of endorsement, except JD applicants. Okay, so if you're already an attorney, you don't have to do that. Associate level degree applicants also require 1 year of substantive law-related experience under the supervision of a lawyer in the practice area of endorsement. So, like me, I had to go out and find an attorney that I could work under while I'm going to school, so I could gain a little bit of experience. and that I can fulfill that requirement, because I need 1 year of substantive law-related experience. Okay, so I just decided to go out because I'm a relatively smart guy, and I pick up things pretty well. And I've also been fascinated with the law and studied the law a little bit over the years, and I can sit down and learn things. I can work with an attorney and gain that experience. So when it comes time when I'm done with my schooling, I'll have that under my belt, and I can go ahead and take the licensing and become a legal paraprofessional. Now, a legal paraprofessional, once you fulfill all these requirements, you don't have to work with an attorney. You can open your own law practice. Okay, and I think that's the one big thing that that a lot of people don't realize at first. Okay, so anyway, so then there's also the experience pathway. So if you've maybe you've been working as a paralegal, or you've been working as a legal assistant for many years, there's an alternative route of qualification. If you've had 7 years of full-time substantive law-related experience within the last 10 years preceding your application date, you may qualify for the experience pathway. You have to have 2 years of experience in the practice area in which the applicant seeks licensure. So if you wanted to go into family law, you got to have at least 2 years worth of experience along with the 7 years of full-time substantive law-related experience. And proof of experience must be certified by the supervising attorney. So you have to have an attorney that can come and vouch for you. I believe on the application for licensure, there's actually a section where an attorney has to fill out and give you the proof that you have experience under your supervising attorney or whoever you're working for at the time. So, like I said before, there's 2 parts to the examination. So each is a 3-hour multiple choice exam. Okay. So one is your core exam, which is legal terminology, substantive law, client communication, data gathering, document preparation, and ethics. And then you have the subject matter exam, which would be the individual, up here, law, family law, civil law, criminal law, and administrative law. So you'd have to take another exam in that particular area of law that you want to practice. So let's say, for instance, you've taken your core exam and you want to go ahead and get into family law, civil law, criminal law, and administrative law. Let's say you want to do all 4 areas. Well, you would be taking a total of 5 tests or 5 exams. Okay. So, and once again, once you are licensed as a LP in the state of Arizona, you would be able to have your own law practice. Okay. So you can do many of the things that an attorney can do. Except for there are some limitations. The big one, obviously, you're going to be limited to these areas of law. Now, and then also, especially for the criminal law area, there just can't be the likelihood of your client going to prison can't be there. Okay, so anyway. Now, the administrative law, I don't believe as of this moment they have that particular exam ready. Hopefully, I'm sure by the time I'm done with school, which will probably be about 1.5 to 2 years, they probably will have it. And administrative law does interest me because one of my buddies who's an attorney in California is a workman's comp attorney, and that seems pretty interesting to me. But anyway, you can go to the Arizona, Arizona must be what website it is here, ArizonaCourts.gov website, and you can look this stuff up for yourself. Hopefully I got most of it correct, and but anyway, you can look at it and see if this is something that might be right for you. Okay, now I'm going to Yavapai College. I've actually started already. I just completed my introduction to paralegalism, because in order for you to be get into the program at Yavapai College, these are the courses that you have to take. Okay. Now, these aren't all the courses, because this is assuming that you have at least a paralegal studies degree or an associate's degree, like a 2-year degree. So it says the following courses must be taken in order to meet the educational requirements required by the Arizona Supreme Court to practice as a legal paraprofessional in Arizona under ACJA 7-210. So you can probably Google that and get a little bit more information. I'm not going to get into all of that because that would make this video really long. But the Yavapai College Paralegal Studies program offers all the courses required under Arizona law. So when I found this, I thought, okay, so this is, they've obviously, somebody has looked into this, and this was the first program that I found that was specific for the legal paraprofessional, that would meet the legal paraprofessional requirements under the law. Okay, students must be enrolled in paralegal studies, okay, or must have an associate's degree in any subject and be enrolled in the paralegal studies certificate program, okay, to be eligible to take these courses. Additional credits are required for the paralegal studies AAS degree or the paralegal studies certificate. Now, so if you already have an AA degree, they do have a paralegal studies certification, so you could take that, okay. But me, I didn't start from scratch, okay. So I enrolled in the paralegal studies for the Associate of Applied Science degree, in paralegal studies, okay. So the required classes, now these aren't all the required classes for what I have to take, but it depends on what you already have, okay. But these will be the mandatory courses for if you want to become a legal paraprofessional. Perhaps you have a bachelor's degree. Well, your path might be different. Okay. Well, actually, it would be. Perhaps you have a master's degree, or perhaps you already have you are already a practicing attorney in another state. You're going to have a different path, and you're going to want to contact. Well, I'll go to the site, but you're going to want to contact the state of Arizona and find out what path is good for you. So. So these are all the law classes. So I've taken the Law 100 Introduction to Paralegal Studies. Okay, the class wasn't difficult, and these classes, all of them can be completed completely online, which is what I need because Yavapai College is about 3 hours away from me. All right, so and because I am a practicing real estate agent and a practicing loan officer, I have a day job, which takes a lot of my time. And I do other real estate related ventures as far as my investments, that type of thing. So I'm doing other things, so I have to be able to do this online and on my time. So all these classes can be completed entirely online. Okay, so these are the ones that I've taken the Introduction to Paralegal Studies. Now, I could have taken. There's some other general ed stuff, like there's math and some science classes and some other classes I've taken. English composition. There's some other classes that I had to take, but I decided to look into Introduction to Paralegal Studies because I just wanted to try it out and see if it's something that I was going to enjoy, and I just thought that would be probably the best class for me to take first. Now, my counselor wanted me to go a different route, but I said, no, I'm going to go this way because I want to see if I'm going to get into the law and practice law, then I want to kind of get a taste of what I'm getting into. So I took the Introduction to Paralegal Studies. And I got an A, and it wasn't a difficult class. The instructor was good. Overall, I thought the class was good. I mean, there are some things that I thought could have been done better, but, it was good. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because I'm not. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but I learned a lot. A lot of the stuff was very familiar to me because of stuff that I've run into as a real estate agent and as a loan officer, just trying to assist clients in real estate. Okay. So then the next class that I'm taking right now is, well, it's not actually on here, but it would be under, let's see, I believe that there are some other. Well, these are the mandatory classes, but in order to get the degree, there are some other classes that I have to take. But I'm currently taking wills, trusts, and probate, which I've had some experience with wills, trusts, and I've had some experience in probate, especially in real estate, in all those three areas. So I'm taking that class now, and I'm enjoying that as well. Okay. Now that's more of an elective class for the AAS degree, but I just thought, hey, this would be a pretty good class to take because I'm somewhat familiar with it, and it is an elective that I do have to take care of. Okay, so anyway, these are the classes that you would take at Yavapai College. Okay. And if anybody were to come to me that was in a similar situation to where I'm at, because I'm basically starting from scratch, um, this is where I would tell people, hey, maybe you um, ought to go here because it's it's relatively cheap. Rick Frimmer, who is my instructor for the introduction to paralegal studies, really nice guy. I mean, this is his email address and his phone number. You could probably give him a call, and he would be more than happy to talk to you about the program and get you in. He was really great. I really enjoyed taking his class. And a lot of the classes, guys, you got to remember, the classes are online, so you really have to motivate yourself to do the coursework because they're going to give you different modules, and they're going to require that you do certain things throughout the week. Now, Yavapai College, I can't speak for any other college that's doing this or any other school, but Yavapai College is on a quarter system. Okay, I'm currently taking 2 classes, or my plan is to take 2 classes per quarter. I may do 3 during the summer session, but pretty much every quarter I'm going to take at least 2 classes. Okay, because I want to get this done, and I do need to get the experience requirement anyway. So I do need to work on not only going out and procuring or finding, which isn't a problem for me. I've actually found a couple of people that need some legal help in conjunction with their real estate needs. So I've been able to find work as in the legal area that I can use for my substantive learning, and that I can use to learn a little bit more about how trusts work and how it's done in the real world at the end of the day. Okay, so so the rest of my videos are going to be a little bit about the classes that I've taken. I'm going to do a separate class on the introduction to paralegalism. Now this particular video is a little bit long because there's a lot of information that I wanted to go over. But I'm really happy to be doing this because just to kind of take you guys back to the beginning a little bit. When I was a kid and in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. Okay. Unfortunately, when I was in high school, even though I was very bright, I remember my counselors and they all told me I was very bright. I had great grades until my junior year of high school, but then I got into girls and my car, and school was not a priority for me. So I decided to join the Marines because I just knew that I was just so tired of school. I just didn't want to go to college. I wanted to get out of my hometown and do something and make something of myself, and I did. But I got away from what I was dreaming about doing when I was young, because I wanted to become an attorney. Well, as I got older, and now I'll be turning 50 this year, so I'm not a spring chicken. Okay, so I'm starting later in life. Even though I've been in real estate for almost 20 years now, I've been in sales, like 26 years now. Done different types of sales or helping clients with either buying something or getting funding for something. That's pretty much all I've done in my professional life. One way or the other, this is an opportunity for me to fulfill a dream, at least partially. I won't be an attorney once I'm done with this, once I'm an LP, but I will be able to do all the things that an attorney can do that I wanted to do. I've never been one that's wanted to go and represent capital murder cases or anything like that. But it'd be nice to be able to put trusts together for some of my clients. It would be nice to help people with probate. It'd be nice to help people write real estate contracts on very unusual real estate transactions. It would be nice to help people with some minor civil actions if they needed to do those things. If they needed to, if they needed the help of an attorney or a legal representative that was licensed to do those things. And the whole reason they created the LP practitioner or the program was to lower the costs of legal services to the people of Arizona. So, like I was talking to Mr. Frimmer, who's my instructor for my first class, he was talking about how, he just gave me a kind of a real very frequent example, but let's talk about divorces, okay? Well, a vast majority of people who are divorced, I mean, most people don't have a really complicated divorce. A lot of them may have a house or, have some small assets, that type of thing. Well, do they really need to pay an attorney $400 an hour or $350 an hour to put a very simple divorce together? Well, no. So instead, they could go to a legal paraprofessional and pay $150 an hour. Well, that's a heck of a lot cheaper than going to an attorney. Okay. So, that's where the legal paraprofessional is important, at least in my estimation. And there is another, so Washington had a similar position. I can't remember exactly, but it's similar where, you could practice law, but they've sunsetted, meaning they've ended that particular position, or that, I can't remember, like a LLLP or something like that, but they are, so the people that have gotten licensed to do that, they're going to be able to continue to practice, but they're not going to be accepting any more people for licensure for that practitioner position up in Washington. So they're not going to have that anymore. There are other states that are looking into a similar, something similar to a legal paraprofessional, but Arizona is the first one that's really put this together, and I think it is. I don't know whether you believe in God or fate or whatever it is that you believe in, but I think that this happened to me for a reason. So I want to take you guys through my experience, however long it takes. My channel is called Ben the LP Student, and then one day I'll change the name to Ben the LP. Okay. But anyway, my next video I'll probably put out in a couple of days, but it'll be to the Introduction to Paralegalism that I took the class. I'll put up a little bit of information, talk a little bit about what I learned, and hopefully this will give other people inspiration possibly to do the same thing, because I'm really looking forward to this. It's something that, like I said, it's kind of a dream come true, and I'm going full speed ahead. So I'm doing this. I don't have a problem with taking licensing exams. It's not a big deal. I've taken licensing exams for 2 states now, and also for doing loans. So it's not a big deal to me. It's something that I'm kind of used to. I've fortunately been able to. I was a little surprised that one of the concerns being 50, or almost 50, I should say. But one of my concerns was getting back to school, because I haven't been, if I count the schooling that I got in the Marine Corps, which was extensive. I was an electronics technician when I was in the Marine Corps, so there was quite a bit that I had to learn in a very short period of time. But it's been, so if I want to count that, it's been almost 30 years since I've stepped foot in a classroom. If you don't count that, then I'm looking at 32 years since I actually stepped foot in a class, just high school. So that was a little bit, I didn't know whether I was going to be able to adapt, but I've adapted very well. So I've been able to keep those those good study habits that I had when I was in school, and like I said, the course, especially at Yavapai College, I can't speak for anywhere else, has been, I don't want to say easy. It's been easy so far as being able to log on when I need to log on, during the evening most of the time, and to go through the material, and having access to the teachers if I have any questions. So that's all been really, really good. So I would encourage anybody who might be following along my channel here to give this a shot. And there's going to be more colleges that are going to be offering this. I'm sure there are more that I don't know about. Like I said, I only found the University of Arizona and then the Yavapai College, but I'm sure there are others that are probably doing this as well. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I wasn't too boring. And I know this is getting a little bit long, so I'll go ahead and cut it off here. But anyway, thanks guys, and like I said, I'll have the next video coming up here in just a few days. And hopefully we can all learn a little bit, and maybe I'll see you in class. All right, talk to you guys later.